Good morning, everybody, and welcome. There we go. It's all going up. There we go. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Mary Jane Tracy, and thank you for those who are watching the replay. I am also known as the Guru Mama, spiritual love of life coach and psychic medium. Wahaha. I like to do the wahaha at the end. And an astrologer. I come to you bringing you the energies of the day. I'm going to call this just a little bump in the road today. It's a bump in the road. That's what we're going to call it. It's a bump in the road. So it is a day that's just sort of bringing you a little bit of tweaking and getting you to tweak your day. So I'm going to get a few more people in here. It's kind of an odd day too. So hello, everybody on Periscope and Facebook Live. Just bringing everybody in, doing my little invites, and see who's all going to come in and see me today. So tomorrow is my haunted tour. So thank you for everybody for signing up to the haunted tour. It is full. We are going to be starting at the Swan tomorrow night at the Swan Pub down in Inglewood. We're going in. We have reservations there. And then we will be there for about an hour or so, take a walk around Inglewood, and then head over to another pub where we have reservations there also. So this is you can't just pop in, unfortunately, and join me. It is where people have reserved to come in, and I've made reservations for this. My next one will be in, if you're wanting, I'm going to do it on May 18th. And we are going to go for a walk through the Beltline in Calgary. So we're going to go through the Beltline through Calgary, and I'm going to be making reservations at Una. And then we're going to stop off for some energies there because it has a little bit of mixture of different energies within there. The Beltline's very interesting area too. It's on 17th Avenue Southwest. So for those who are wanting to join me. So are you ready for today? Are you ready? Are you ready for these energies? Thank you, everybody, for joining me, Lynn and Ashley. And oh, look at there. We've got Cynthia, Tamara, and Melissa. Thank you all for joining me, and James and Rochelle. Well, I call this day a little blimp in the road. The reason being is that Venus is squaring Pluto, and Pluto is kind of a little bit of an ass. He is Hades. And here, this lovely Venus is just trying to figure things out. And and that's what it is. It's a day of trying to figure it out. And we have a sextile of Mercury going over there to Venus and trying to, bring in the communications and along with Mars. But it's really getting down to our truth of what we're doing. And is it, and I used the Mother Mary cards today, which were beautiful. And I love that. Let's see if I still have them on top. I do. What I love is that the devotion card came out and what the devotion card is. So this is the devotion card. It's very beautifully done, beautiful artistry. But the devotion is about your commitment to your values and what the truth is that you're carrying. Are you compromising somewhere that makes you uncomfortable? Or you're compromising to be comfortable, to allow others to be comfortable, and then at your expense. So in other words, if you are not sticking to what your values are, so when it comes to family, friends, when it comes to your happiness, your money, what are your values? What are your values with your money? What are your values for your happiness? What are your values when it comes to your relationships? What are your values when it comes to sexuality? Your values to your work and career. These are things that are, this little blimp in the road, even though it's just today. But I mean, it has a lingering effect. It has a lingering effect on how we carry things through. And in Journey Club, we go through our values. especially in going through as we get into, um, since I do it, I do Journey Club differently now. But as we get into sort of the module 5 and 6, we start really looking at the values, looking at what you want to carry through, and do you compromise them? Is there a compromise that you're doing somewhere in your life where you go backwards? And that's, we've been talking about that, about not going backwards, we're going forwards. And what is it that we are, when it comes to our devotion within our own selves? And then the thing is that we got optimism and faith. Because in standing true to who we are, we got to be optimistic. We got to be, and being and trusting at this very moment that we're in the right place at the right time. I know you hear that, oh, wow, she was in, the wrong place at the wrong time. And because of unfortunate accidents. The more I go into my faith and I go into my spirituality, everything always is the way it's supposed to be, even as horrific and horrible and things that happen to somebody or to places. And there's a reason for everything, because out of that comes the phoenix. Out of that comes something else. And that's where, when we look at our values and we look at our devotion of whatever it is, we got to be an optimistic. We got to know that we got to accept the good things are going to happen, that they are going to be there for us. That even though the times might, when I do readings and people are sometimes in a very dark place because of things that are going on in their life, or their relationships are breaking down, or all of a sudden they are having huge financial issues. And, we go through the reading and we go through the, the energies, and it comes down to, a lot of times, it's our values. A lot of times we are wanting to save face. And I can remember, way back in the day when I was a younger version of me, where I always thought, even, even when I was, graduating from school, that I still wasn't good enough, that there was something wrong. A girlfriend of mine sent me a grad picture, and it took me a minute to recognize that 17-year-old. I didn't recognize her at first. I went, holy shit, that's me. That's me at 17. And I took a moment and I went back to that young girl at 17. And I had to sit there with that energy. And I thought, oh my goodness, you did not realize the potential you had at that time. I thought at that time I was like horribly fat. I thought I wasn't pretty. I didn't think I was good enough or smart enough to do anything. I felt very down on myself. Those were my internal grumblings. So I would compromise my beliefs in order to fit in with the group or tribe, because I was never in the in group. Believe it or not, I was not in the in group. I was not the girl that was the first, to be a part of it. It's not, because I was different. I could see things, I could feel things, and I didn't always, I understood what they were, but my faith, because it was like I wanted to believe truly what I wanted to believe. I had, when I went into youth group and I went into my prayers and my church and my meditation, and I used to do retreats. And I didn't tell anybody I was doing retreats. I was going to Seton House in Summerland and going up there and doing retreats on the weekend and stuff for the Seton House. And I didn't want, there was only a few people that knew that I was doing that. But because I wanted to be part of the status quo, I wanted to be accepted by who I thought was important, who I thought could give me what I lacked within myself. So you reach out, and that's what we do. We reach out. And I was sitting there with that 17-year-old, and I thought, oh my God, what could I tell you today? What could I go back there and have a conversation with you today? And tell you all the things that how wonderful and beautiful you are. But it's not enough to tell somebody that. It is to show them how to step into it. And I think that's part of what's lacking within our world or within how we raise our children. It's lacking in showing them that, yeah, you can be different. I know there's, and still be a part of this world, and it's okay. And I know there's some of that coming out with self-esteem and things like that. But again, this day is going to be could be kind of hard for some people to try and figure out because they're standing in their trust in their belief system. They're standing in their trueness because when they actually come into their own selves, this is why I think, in schools, and I don't care if it's public school, Catholic school, Christian school, whatever, that grounding, teaching kids how to ground, teaching kids to be present, showing them, I mean, could you imagine showing kids, all right, what are you grateful for today, starting at very young, and even in high school, what are you guys grateful for today? There's so much going on in our world, so much happening in our world, right? It's good morning, everybody. Yeah, you have your first Reiki share. Oh, wow. And there's just so much of that going on that we sometimes, even as adults, and we see it, and I see it, and I, see it within myself. It took so long to break that down. It took so long for me to break it down and actually come out, come out of what that shell was. And, I've written about this in some of my blogs where, when I was 17, I was actually bulimic. I had issues. I had crazy thoughts all the times because even though, yes, you're spiritual and yes, you have sight and all of this, but it's sure that's cool. But when you get into school, you can't go around talking to people about it. Sometimes it's very difficult to say anything to anybody. And there isn't that, it's all about getting things done, getting it done, and it's so important for us today to step into who we are and take a moment and pause. I think it'd be very important to even teach kids how to pause. Even with my grandson when he gets all crazy and stuff. Okay, I where's oh he didn't take he loves the selenite wand, and I go like this and I brush him down with the selenite wand, and he's like, "Oh, mama, don't stop." Right? I mean, when you start doing that with kids at a very young age, it helps to clear them. It helps to help them to be calm. And if they want to go around and carry it, then they can carry it. It's so cool. I had that when I was little, but as I got older, of course, my grandmother passed and things changed. And it was, all of these types of things or emotions came up, but were dealt with. And I believe that, for us, today is a day of us looking at our own devotion, looking at a day of where we can ground, right? And where we can have gratitude for the day and bring that gratitude into everything that we do. Not just at, dinner time but, looking around saying, oh my God, saying good morning to the sun. I am so grateful for the sun. Bringing in, and saying, okay, if you're feeling, honoring that and saying, if you're feeling anxious or if you're feeling out of sorts, it's okay to take a moment to breathe and gather in what is working right now. And taking those moments to pause. Because today, with that angle, and I know it's going to be brief, but still, it's making this massive T square up there, and it's really pulling us with our belief systems. It's pulling us with our truth. It's this beautiful goddess of Venus, the model. She's coming out. She's this goddess that is emerging and saying, this is who I am. The picture of Venus, the birth of Venus coming out, I mean, that picture was hidden for centuries, believe it or not, because people didn't like, ooh, that's a little bit too erotic. But her vulnerability as being nude, standing there and saying, here I am, and allowing for that blow and everything to blow away what no longer needs to be with her. Allowing yourself to be in your vulnerability, because your vulnerability is not weakness, it is strength. When you are allowing yourself to be vulnerable and say, I really don't understand what you mean, or this isn't where I feel comfortable. Or here's a big one for people who've been married for a long time or in a relationship. Do you talk about your sexual relationship? It's vulnerability. Because a lot of times we don't want to talk about that. I've been married for, so many years. I don't want to talk about that. We just, if the lights are out and we're in the mood, okay, maybe. But it's important to talk about it. It's important to have those conversations, especially when you're already committed in an intimate relationships. That's where a lot of breakdowns happen within relationships. It's through the bedroom, because there isn't the talking. Because, oh my God, I might have to tell him that I like something different, and he may not like that, and then he'll think ill of me, or whatever it is, right? But it's important to have those talks. Same with money talks. What are your values on money? Having those talks. And it's not to have sometimes those talks in the house. Have those talks outside the house. Go for on a coffee date. Or if you're living alone or you're on your own and trying to figure out your money, go out of your house and go to the coffee shop and start looking at and writing down, what are my values for money and what does it mean to me? And what would it mean for me to earn X amount of dollars? Very mundane and muggle, isn't it? But that's part of the earth energies that are coming in. Take those realistic goals. Sexuality is mundane. It is a part of this world. Relationships, your health and well-being. These are things that we have to look at, and how do we value them? Are they up here with values, or are they down here? If you look at exercise, where's exercise on your value system? Is it a high up? I know for exercise isn't high up for me, but I know some people, yeah, this is very important to me. This is what I need to do, because this is what nourishes my body. So that's a value to them. And you take that value out, what are they compromising in taking that out? Right? So you got to look at this too. It's like, if I take this out of the picture that I value, what am I replacing it with? And looking at what you're replacing that with, because if you're taking something out, something's coming in energetically. Does automatically, because it's a hermetic law, it's a spiritual law, universal law. Can't change it. So if you take out something negative, or you take out whatever it is, what are you replacing it with? And you gotta, and it's very good to know what the hell you're gonna replace it with. So looking at your values and being optimistic with it, and having faith that you are able to heal any of your situations. You are able to move forward through anything that is going on in your life. And trusting your connection with your divine. So take a moment, if things are going haywire today, to come into that alignment for yourself. It's, and taking those power pauses and teaching. If you have children, start teaching them. Start teaching them to ground. And if they get really crazy and they're running around, breathe. Take your time. Breathe. It's okay. If you have a child that comes home and they say, mommy, daddy, auntie, uncle, grandpa, grandma, I feel odd at school. Listen to them. You feel scattered today. Got to ground, Sarah. Um, and, listen to them. Set up your angel wheel for your Reiki share tonight. Just an FYI, that just came into me for you, Melissa. And listen to them. The sun passes out after grounding. Maybe there's a different way that you need to teach him to do it then, if he's passing out, if that's too much energy coming in, right? So if there's a lot there for him to process and to come down, get him some Tektite, Candace. Get him some Tektite, because I bet you 10 to 1 that'll ground him. Tektite is a meteorite, and it'll just help to calm the brain in a different way. So like for me, who's a very earthy type person, very it would Tektite doesn't ground me. Tektite makes me dizzy and takes me out. But somebody who, if it's a lot of energy to come down into this world, usually they're a starseed child, and it's very difficult for them to be here, the gravity pull and stuff like that. And if too much gravity's on somebody, it can get them to tip over. But look at Tektite for them. And even as he gets older, he might be the one that has to carry Moldavite along with Kyanite in order to feel present and at the moment. So just you can experiment with that. So, and because some people do, for that grounding. But it's important to do these things for our young ones because they're going to carry it through. And it's, when I look at my kids, those were kind of like tricks that I did with them when they're little. The boys really got to know that I was trying to ground them, and after a while they didn't want me to do it and they ran away. They were just like, no, Mom, I know what you're doing, because they could feel the difference. But it's also, giving them the space to be able to express themselves. And even to this day, my kids know that my home is a place where they can always express themselves, even at 26, and 23. If there's something wrong, they can come in and say what they need to say and talk about anything that they need to talk about. Nothing is off the table for topics in my home. And that also brings them that confidence too. So if there's anything happening, then they know that they can come to a very safe, secure place that, okay, I'm not going to be judged because of this. So that's a very important thing. So today, honor yourself with your values and your relationships. That's my son. That's my husband. I don't know if you could hear him in the background. He's yelling, telling her that Mateus has to use the potty. That's too funny. Gotta love live scopes. You get to hear a lot of interesting things that are going on in the house, right? But to take some time to be present in your day today, very important to be present in your day. So sending you guys out so much love. Today, we have, what do we have going on? We have the Witches Fair, the Witches Brew Market on Saturday. So if you're in the Calgary area, please come out to the Witches Brew Market. It is at the Hillhurst Sunnyside Community Association on 5th Avenue Northwest, down from SAIT. So please come down and see us. We're there 10 to 4 on Saturday. I will be there selling my wares and doing readings. So if you want to come in and hit me up for a reading, definitely come on down and see me. Also, we have on June 22nd, we have the Solstice Retreat Day. So it's a one-day workshop on working on ourselves. And yes, I am. I am, Cynthia, I am one of the organizers for the Witches Brew Market. It used to be the New Age, but we changed it, and a couple other ladies, myself and two other ladies, Amanda and Lynn, we've come in and we are working at making this a new place. So, yeah, I think, yes, we do. We do have a place for the healers. And we ask if the healers can, if you are healing and if you do have a screen, would be absolutely a fabulous thing too, so that you can screen off. So we are sectioning off for healers and stuff like that. We also have, we're not sectioning off the psychics. The psychics are usually all within. How much are the spots? The spots are $75. So the spots are $75. It includes Wi-Fi, your table, and 2 chairs. So that's what it includes. This one is full, but we have room for the one on the Father's Day one, the Green Man. And that'll be our last market until October. So we won't have another one in July, August, or September. So if you're interested, that'll be our last market until October. And then we have one in October, November, December. So this one is our Mother's Day market. We have a coffee and tea and cupcakes. And the coffee cake, it's by donation. So if you just want a cup of coffee, it's $1 by donation. If you want a coffee and a cupcake with your mom, it's $5 to come in. You can have a place to sit. We have some nice, background music, nothing loud. It's very, very nice background type of music at our market. And we also have plenty of beautiful vendors that are there. Tamara's going to be there. We have vendors that are going to be outside on the tarmac, since it's going to be quite nice on Saturday. And so it's going to be 24 degrees. And we're making this an actual witches market. So we have a park your broom site, we have where, people can come in, and if you have questions about anything to do with your following your faith or following your new way of doing things, to come in and have a, talk to one of the vendors on things. It's a place of not only learning, but a place where people can prosper with what they do. So it is a market to bring in prosperity and abundance for those who are vending. And there are no multi-level marketing at all. It is all people who make their own wares. And it's vendors who do readings and all that kind of fun stuff. So it's a wonderful, wonderful blend of energy. So it is. The energy in there, honestly, guys, I've been to many different markets. I was at, God bless the market that I was in last week, but I won't go back there again at that, where they had that vending market, because one, the energy wasn't properly cleared, and there was the thing is that we do ceremony, not necessarily with all the vendors, but we do ceremony before. We have ceremonies weeks before we have our market. We do blessings and prayers to our market to bring in the prosperity and abundance for that market. That is our goal, because it is a business. It is a business to bring in community and to allow for others to prosper. When you prosper and I prosper, we are able to do more, not only for our families, but for those around us. And we do, as you are in there, we are constantly clearing. We have ways of doing that, of clearing, of raising the vibration, of allowing for that energy to come through. And, in a few markets that I've been into, that I've gone into, they sometimes, you can't, I understand when it's a big hall, you can't always clear the energy. I get that. I honestly get that. But it's what you're doing prior to it, and what is your intention for whatever you're doing, right? So if your intention is just, I just want to get you guys in there, have money, blah, blah, that's it. that's fine, because there are markets like that. We have a lot of them like that. Got trade shows and stuff like that. Their main goal is home and garden. Home and garden, here we go. They're not doing a bunch of stuff. They're in there to fill those seats, get people go. That's their intention, right? And that's what you go in there for. So it's looking at the intention. So for us, we are very conscious of our intention for the Witch's Brew Market. We're very conscious of who we are gathering and bringing in to the Witch's Brew Market, because we want anybody who comes through our doors to be able to feel comfortable, to feel a part of it, and to feel that good vibe feeling. So that's our intention, and we try our darndest to make sure it happens. So that is our Witch's Brew Market, and it happens on Saturday. The next one will be June 15th, the day before Father's Day. Let me see. June 15th. So June 15th is our last market, and we're almost filled with that one. So Candace, if you're interested, I will send you out a registration form, and just send it back to the email and everything that is on there, and information, and just change the date on there, because the date is for this one, but I haven't. So just change the date for it, okay, and send it in. But it is a market that we are wanting to make, to bring in change, to bring in the change, and there's so many things that we want to do with this, and to allow for it, because we have this one, and then October 14th, and then one in November, and then one in December, and then we're done, and we're hoping to have the next one. We're going to wait till in February of 2020. We'll see. We haven't talked about it, but putting it out there, so that we have more of a consistency. The thing is, it's okay, Bobby. The thing is with markets, or what we want to do, is to stir up the energies and allow for this to be like kind of like a farmer's market, where people can go somewhere every weekend, and they have a farmer's market of a place where they can go and buy their wares. So there is only a few places in Calgary, as big as Calgary is, that you can actually go and buy things. But the one thing that I've noticed, if you're going in to buy things, is that the people aren't knowledgeable. And if I'm selling you a cauldron, I'm telling you what the hell the cauldron's for. If I'm selling you sage, I'm telling you what the sage is for. With black salt, we have black salt. But our black salt is not salt covered in charcoal. Our black salt is made with the full moon, and the wood is burnt, and everything is mixed together. It's a very special mixture that is brought together for it. So the black salt, I know other people are selling black salt, but I'm just an FYI, it's not the same. I got some black salt in a kit or something. It was a cute little kit, but the black salt was just charcoal and sea salt. Black salt is actually what you use to really get shit out. So you mix your black salt with your regular salt. So, because it's a little package is $10. And so you mix that with your sea salt, and then you can sprinkle it around your room. You can put it along the ledges, and it really helps to collect any of the negativity within the room. When you cleanse, then you can clean up. You sweep it all up. So if you do this on a weekly process, and then you re-put in new salt, and it really helps to anchor ground. And it's great if you are unable to sage a lot or do anything like that, and it's not harmful to animals. So with having the black salt mixed with salt, so we do that. And telling people that I sell actual Florida water. I know some people there have made their own Florida water, are going to be selling it. That's fine. My Florida water comes straight from where the originals of what we do for voodoo and hoodoo, but you can make your own too. So there's things there. There's people there selling their stuff and selling some beautiful, beautiful items. So definitely come check it out. Definitely. And if you're wanting to come to my retreat, it's $175. Bring a friend and it's the same price. So you guys can split the cost. You can find out the information on my website, maryjunetracy.com. So definitely come, for the retreat and come out and see me. And if you're wanting a reading and stuff, I do have, my mugwort tea. I have all my herbs. So I have mugwort tea. I have a couple cauldrons left, some beautiful goddess statues that are available. And yeah, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So sending you guys out so much love. Have a fabulous day. And may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you and all that you do and all that you say and all that you be. Blessed be everybody, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye. You're welcome. Thank you.